Yo, brother, it's time for us to start talking the real, man. We've been sugarcoating too much. We've got to start calling everything out for what it is.
Hey guys, new wheel time. And first, a huge shout out to Jason at eWheels for providing me this wheel to have fun with and to test. And I'll be doing a lot of both. This is, of course, the Blitz. And I had to send back the Sherman L, and I get to wait for my own to come in someday. Technically, I still have it. This is I got this wheel today, Friday, and Labor Day weekend, so I'm not sure if when it's going to be picked up. So I might still have it over the weekend. But most likely I will be riding this wheel. And this comes from New York. You've probably seen maybe some of the videos that those guys did. The Sherman L is going to them, so we just crossed the country. They sent me the Blitz and I sent them the L. This box looks like it survived more or less. These boxes, demo boxes, they get pretty abused after a couple trips across the country. So this wheel, I'm anticipating to be a fun wheel, lightweight wheel. I will be comparing it probably most directly to my Master, because I kind of feel like this is a kind of a replacement for the Master. I don't think it weighs that much less than, I have a V1 Master with the plastic battery boxes. So we'll see. Got the charger. This is a bigger than I'm used to charger, 134 volt charger, but 4 amps. No, that's input. 5 amps. Trying to think if I have any 5 amp 134 volt chargers. I don't know. I'll be using the Roger charger anyway. And I'd be curious to see how fast I can charge this up. Let's see. So yeah, this came from Ronan. Check out his channel if you haven't, of course. I'll put a link down in the description. He told me it ships with the pedals are not mounted on the wheel, which is odd. It would seem like there's enough room in the box to be able to ship them attached. So, okay. All right, let me get this out of the box and onto the table, and then I'll pull in the camera and we can take a closer look. Got it on the stand, and by the way, I've got it on Duff's latest stand that he sent me that's taller, so it can fit all the wheels, new suspension wheels. But it doesn't fit the Blitz. I mean, the Blitz fits, but barely. It needs, actually, the tire's hitting, so it needs another ½ inch or so. Which is interesting. It just means, I'm not sure what that means about the suspension configuration. I guess I'll see when I start riding it in terms of, is it taller? I don't know. But this is giving me a heads up. Something's a little different. The fit and finish on the wheel is really nice. First impressions is good. This wheel, by the way, has had about 160 miles put on it from the New York City guys. They only did city riding. I'll probably put that much miles on it the first couple of days I'm going to have the wheel. But generally, it's nice. Looks nice. Finish is pretty good. I've seen a couple things that are maybe not ideal, but yeah, looks good. Lots of plastic everywhere. The ET Max definitely has more metal. It kind of gives me the impression that I'm comparing this to my Master, for instance. It feels nicer than my Master, but maybe a step down from the ET Max in terms of build quality. Now, I guess they obviously, we've all heard they've made this to save weight, make it a lightweight wheel, so that therein lies all the plastic, but you do kind of wonder how it's going to hold up over time, particularly if you actually have a crash. We shall see. And I got to put the pedal on. Let me show you a close-up view of this pedal. Here is the new pedal design. Now, clearly this is very lightweight. I don't know what the metal is, but it's the quality of the finish is not that great. It's definitely not an anodized aluminum, and I'm going to assume this is aluminum, not magnesium, but I do not know. Paint is definitely obviously falling off. This is, again, after 160 miles of riding. Otherwise, nothing looks bent. I don't think the New York guys crashed this wheel at all. It's dihedral is adjustable. I really personally wish they hadn't switched the pedal handler design, which makes all big old pedals incompatible with this wheel. And is this going to be the future design? You know, I hope not. This seems like a stupid decision on their part, because they had a standard. Oh well, we'll see how this rides. To adjust the tension on the pedal, there's a 2.5 millimeter set screw in the bottom here that you tighten. And there you go. Let's take a look at the fender and the kickstand. Again, plastic. This part is metal. It's got the typical bumpers that we've been seeing. And when you sit this on the ground, it lays really far back, just like the ET Max. This fender is really funky though, to me. So Roger just got his personal Blitz, and the fender looks the same. It's kind of got a step down right here, and it's got some, it looks like it's kind of been warped from heat, like it's melted. So apparently this comes from the mold this way. It's plastic. I guess it's made to look maybe like carbon fiber, but I'm sure it's just plastic. But the net effect is it looks like it's been melted. It's not a good look. Very, very odd. Looks effective though. Looks like a good mudguard. Here's another look. I'm sorry I'm focusing so much on this, but I'm a detail guy, and I love aesthetics, and this just looks awful. Just looks like it's been melted. The shock, this is very reminiscent of the ET Max, but different. It's got the same kind of knobs. Got instead of one air chamber, it's got two. This one says between 100 and 250 psi, and this is a 50 to 100 psi. So Ronan said he was running it, I think he said maybe 250 psi, and he thought it felt soft. I put 200 psi in here, and the thing felt like a rock. So I have 100 psi in this chamber, and still felt stiff, but then I adjusted the blue knob, and reduced it, and then it got soft. And so So it's going to be complex setting this shock up. This is rebound, same thing. I just put 50 psi in here and then adjusted the rebound. So you have 4 different variables to control. Time will tell, but I suspect you're going to be able to get it tuned really nice for how you're going to ride. But I think it's going to take some tweaking to get that tuning just right. Otherwise, up here you can see the light that's fluctuating, and this is I guess the tail light. Not exactly super bright, but that's what Bigode's been doing lately. Again, all plastic. I mentioned the mood lighting, and this is the default color scheme, kind of a spectrum, and just slowly continue fades in and out. But you can actually change it. So with I'm using UC World here. There's only 2 modes. I've checked all 10 of them, but if you switch it to mode 0, it's red, which I think I'll just keep that. I kind of like that red look. You won't see it be able to see it during the daylight, but so they gave us a little customization. But come on, Bigode, give us more options, or let us customize it like Kickstand and InMotion does. I think InMotion lets you, but Kickstand definitely is the king of customization for your lights. Front of the wheel, you've got the same plastic fender. This part, nothing looks melted. You have your phase cable, which is sticking out of the shell a little bit, like about 1 centimeter, ½ an inch or more. You have your daylight running light, which is nice. Daylight running light on your headlight, which headlight you can adjust. There's 2 screws here that you can tighten, or you can adjust how much tension you want in this. And well, let me turn on the light here. Of course, it's going to be blinding, but I'll show you this, what it looks like outside. It's a Fresnel light, so you get a really nicely shaped beam. It's probably the best shaped beam that I've seen on the Bigode wheel yet. Initial thoughts is it looks pretty good outside, but I'll be testing that more. A view of the wheel sitting back on the kickstand, so you can see that it sits pretty much like the ET Max, really far back. View of the top, again, here is the trolley handle, metal, definitely easier to get to, but let's see how it is to actually use it. All plastic. Gotta take off these stickers. I hate these when these are left on. Drives me nuts, all you guys who just leave these on. And then the display, much better. All right, this is the display that we've been hearing about that's pretty much useless during riding, which I can anticipate seeing the way it's tilted, but also really tiny numbers. I mean, when you're standing up, these look really small. It looks like the mode, temperature, total miles, and then the current riding miles, maybe? I'm not sure. This is I have the wheel set to show imperial, and I've noticed this on some of the other wheels. You set it to imperial in the app, and it shows it in the app, but on the actual, it doesn't seem to set this display. If you know what I'm doing wrong, let me know, but yeah, I can only show metric here, and I'm living in the United States. I like to see miles and speed, of course. Looks beautiful right now in a room, but Probably not so much outside. Let's take a look at this tire. DAO Chai. Don't recognize that brand offhand. It's a 9090 tire, 14. And the rim looks pretty bad with this all this gunk. Now Ronan told me they had a nightmare with this. It was flat out of the box. They couldn't get it to seat. They got it to seat, then they were getting flats. I guess they were also having problems with this valve stem, which is not the stock one. He took it to a shop and they ended up having to replace that. I don't know exactly what was happening with the stock one, but it sounded like it was getting torn up, maybe hitting something in the wheel. I don't know. So all there's a bunch of gunk and stuff along the edge of the rim. It's probably just tire sealant that they're getting the tire to seat. But once they did that at the beginning, apparently they didn't have any problems for the next 160 miles. Jason eWheels knows about this. I have to assume that production copies will be a little better, but again, I don't have the details about what was wrong here. And another look at the tread. All right, let's see how fast we can charge this guy. It's got about a 50% charge on it, and it's got the single charge port underneath like all their wheels now. I'm using the Roger charger, and I have it set at 134.4 volts at 11 amps. We'll start there. And I'm plugged into a 240 volt outlet just so the charger can run cooler. All right, and I'm using the smartphone app for his charger. Highly recommend you use this if you have one of Roger's chargers. All right, so that's working good. Let's jump right to 15 amps because that will be right around the limit of this. This can put out about 2,000 watts, his basic smart charger. We'll go with 15 amps. Nope, that didn't work. Let's go to 13 amps. Shut off the output, turn the charger back on. Nope. Let's go back to 11. Turn off the charger, turn it back on. Okay, 11 amps. Let's try 12 amps. 12 amps is good. Let's try 13. Nope. All right, now just in case I'm getting limits on this charger, I'm going to go to Roger's V4 smart charger. We'll try it again from there. The trolley handle, again, definitely better than the ET Max in terms of getting out, but that's it. Doesn't seem like a lot. Now I'm 5'11", and it does feel like a comfortable height. This wheel It's deceptive. It must be fairly tall because this is a short trolley handle, but yeah, it feels comfortable in terms of walking. I will do some store shopping with this. So we'll see. It does not lock, but it hits the display, and that provides locking mechanism. So I guess when you walk with it, it wants to, it feels good right now anyway. Let's see, to pick this wheel up, I guess I'm holding right here. Seems like that would be the natural. You could hold here, you could hold here, lots of places to grab. I've wanted to grab the light a couple times, so I gotta keep an eye on that. But yeah, it feels light. I gotta compare this to the Master. Put some pads on it and then do this, but it definitely feels light. Well, so my first overall impressions are good. Fit and finish actually feels pretty good. There are a couple, like down here, the LED is, I popped it in, but it's coming out again, so it's not locking it behind this plastic. So that's a negative on the fit and finish. That rear fender, if it's by design, I don't know, they designed something that made it look like it's melted, so that's not great. But overall, feels quality. Doesn't have the same quality feel as their other more recent wheels, and it's just got to be because of all the much more of the plastic, and that's to save weight. They didn't go like the Sherman L or the Lynx. They didn't go the magnesium route. Keep metal, but make the metal very lightweight. They just went with plastic. But we'll see how it rides. Now, Roger got his own Blitz. I believe he got it today also, his own personal one. So I'm not going to be doing any Fullerton loop rides with him or speed runs. Basically, go to his channel. I'll put a link down below to it if you're not subscribed to it, and watch his content on the Blitz if you want to see how this rides on stuff like Fullerton loop, all the crazy stuff he does, or the speed runs, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to leave that to him since he has his own copy. So I will be reviewing this wheel as a normal person. Someone who rides in the low 30s, that's their comfort zone, and go from there. You know what? It's dark right now, and it's kind of nice outside. I'm going to take this for a little night ride, and I'll bring you along, and we'll at least see how the headlight works at night. All right, see you in a second. Okay, my first ride, and I'm down at the bottom of the river. Gonna get out of the river. I've already ridden it for a few miles. My initial impressions are very nice. I'm sure the tire is part of it. This tire feels beautiful for turning. I really like it. Hopefully you can see. So I got my the headlight on. That's the only light I'm using. I have it kind of tilted downward a bit. So not as to not blind it's too much. It would definitely be nice if it had more to cut off at the top. But it's a really well-shaped light. and provides good visibility. To tell you the truth, what it reminds me of is the Sherman light. It's pretty usable as it is, I would say. As usual, it's good to have another light to be able to see around corners or add a little more light as needed, but this is very serviceable. You know, getting used to the ride, of course. Also, coming from the Sherman L, which is super stable. This is not. You can definitely feel the difference, but yeah, it definitely feels like a very light ride. Is about the display. Now, to be honest, at night I can see it if I look down with my helmet on. But you know, all I can see is the speed, really. Definitely not ideal. Oh, and it does not have a bar reading, like you know, you can't look down and say, oh, you got you know, 3 bars or whatever. It actually has a voltage display, and that's kind of nice. I'm trying to remember if Pagoda's ever had a voltage display, but they've always had bars. So, to be honest, I'd kind of like to see the bars too, and then you don't have to do any mental gymnastics to figure out where you are. The shock is going to take some time to get used to. I've been playing around with it, and let me switch the camera views in the front. See what you can see. Let's see, what was it saying? The shock. Yeah, I had it 100 psi in the main chamber, and it ultimately kind of felt too soft. So then I put it to 220 or 30 right now, and it kind of feels a bit too firm. It almost feels like the pressure that you add to the valve, the air pressure, is kind of acting like you're setting your preload. Because if you have it at 100, you step on the wheel and you know, yeah, it sags a lot. That's why I put it back up to like 230. So I'll have to experiment, like maybe try 180, something like that. So very early days with the suspension. So as far as night riding with this light, very usable. Okay, I will get back to you with some in-town riding. I got off the river trail. Yeah, I wanted to say I experimented some more with the charging, and even with the stock charger, I couldn't charge it to more than 130.5 volts, so about 95% battery. Of course, I will continue to experiment with that, but I don't know. Begode really has problems with their battery systems lately, it seems. Not with the batteries, but with their smart BMS and the charging board, distribution boards, and all that stuff together. Certainly not. I can't help but to compare it against the Lynx, or not the Lynx too, but I mean the L. I keep wanting to say the Lynx. The L, right? 20 amps, leave it alone, and it charges to 151.2 volts. What you're paying for. Begode? They just don't want to give you what you're paying for. I don't know. It's weird. Still getting my sea legs with this wheel. It's definitely not as stable as what I got used to with the L. But wow, it's really nimble though. The tire seems great to me, and I can turn on a dime with this. Yeah, definitely nice. I gotta get on my Master, my Lynx, refresh my memory how they ride to compare to this. But I'm liking the ride, and it doesn't feel tall to me, by the way, for whatever that's worth. It felt very natural when I got onto it. Center of gravity feels really good. So I'm just riding around my downtown area. I kind of enjoy these riding around at night, particularly all kinds of stuff. The mountain rides are fun too, but you don't get to see a lot. Something about riding around the city, the towns at night. There's, things are lit up so you can see, but it's quiet. There's no one around. I don't know. It's got a really cool vibe. I am definitely adjusting to this wheel. It doesn't, I don't know, it's feeling just a little, yeah, it's just not, it's not super stable for me. I just got to get used to it. Okay, well, I think this is good enough little first test. Let you know what my first impressions are, and much more to come. All right, guys. Hope you found this video useful, and until next time, safe riding.